The infinite potential is getting crippled by our beliefs. When I go around the world giving lectures, sometimes I meet people who say, I don't have it in me to succeed. What is this? This is the loser's limp. Are you not a part of God? What are you talking about? Well, everywhere I go, I come across mothers giving birth to babies. And I also come across engineers, doctors, advocates. But I never come across mothers giving birth to engineers, doctors, advocates. What does that mean? From childhood till then, they did something to achieve success. I also come across people who say, I am a self-made man or woman. But I never came across anybody saying, I am a self-made failure. Then what do? They make excuses why they are not growing. This is called the loser's limp. Let us say a game of cricket is going on. Now America has also become a cricketing country, with Dallas having one of the stadiums. So suppose the fielding captain has set a tight field, aggressive, and the batsman has managed to pierce it, which means he's placed the ball between two fielders and the ball is racing towards the boundary. And the fielder is giving it hot chase. But then somewhere along, the fielder realizes, I will be unable to intercept the ball before it crosses the boundary. So what does the fielder do? He slows down and starts limping. And the audience says, oh, I see, he has got hurt. That is the reason he could not catch the ball. This is called the loser's limp. Likewise, some people say, I just don't have it in myself. What is this? This is the loser's limp. Are you not a part of God? What are you talking about? Some people say, I am like this, it's all my parents' fault. And this accusing finger, your parents are not perfect. They did what they could. The idea of life is not to lay conditions. If I had these kinds of parents, I would be like this. The idea is to utilize your situation and make the best of it. And if you make such excuses, you will not build up the karma to get better in your next life. So, all these losers' limbs need to be thrown into the garbage. I've also heard that in the times of the communist bloc in Europe, we all know that Germany was divided into two parts and there was the Great Wall of Berlin and a lot of animosity on both sides. So the East Berliners, East Germans, they filled some drums with garbage and threw it over. Some of the West Germans were indignant. Why did they do that? We should fill even more stenchful garbage and throw it over. Somebody else said, no, there's a better way of doing it. So he said, let's fill it with fruits, aromatic vegetables, and beautiful gifts. This was filled and a sign was pasted there. Each gives to the other what they have, and it was put across. So, any kind of loser's limp needs to be thrown away. One company's CEO was a disciplinarian, and the employees were often frustrated by his stern style of administration. And they often felt that this CEO is the reason for our misery and lack of progress. Until in the company communication, a message came along that the biggest reason for your lack of success has passed away. So they all speculated, oh, is it the CEO who has gone? Oh my God, how wonderful life will be. And the email also said, come and have the Antim Darshan in the office common area. They all came up, stood in a line, they were going in one at a time, and there was a coffin. But they saw the CEO was standing there, so he was not dead. Then who was there in the coffin? And when they would look in the coffin, they would see a mirror. They would see their own face. We ourselves are the biggest obstacle. And why are we the biggest obstacle? Because of our faulty beliefs. These faulty beliefs that I cannot grow need to be dismantled. So, we have to ignite in ourselves that kind of passion. And the growth I'm talking about is not going from, the Kia car to the Toyota car to the Tesla car. I'm talking about the inner growth of your soul. Material things, they are not an evaluation of progress. We get entangled in them. It is like that scientist who did an experiment in India with a mouse. In a mouse trap, he put 2 terminals and put the mouse inside. If the mouse touched this terminal, it would receive a piece of bread. If it touched this terminal, it would get an electric shock. So accidentally it touched this, then it touched this, then it touched this, then it touched this. Then the little mouse realized, don't touch this. And touch this and get the bread. So it was a happy little mouse. It had learned. And then the scientists switched it around. Now it was touching this and getting an electric shock, and touching this and getting the bread. For a little while it was confused, then it relearned. And then the scientist switched it around again. Again it was confused, then again he turned it around, again he turned it around, until the mouse was thoroughly confounded. And then the scientist opened the gate of the trap. If you wish, you can go. But the mouse was so confused by this riddle that it had no interest to go. Likewise, we also sometimes get stuck in our pursuit of material pleasures. Get happiness from here, no here, no here, no here. Maybe a trip to Las Vegas will make me happy, but it made me more sad. Now maybe I need to go to Hawaii to get rid of the misery of the Vegas trip. And so on, so forth. So we must remember, this word that came in the testimonial, some treasures, true treasures, spiritual treasures that will be permanent. Which means, not only do you wish to grow, you also need to define what does success mean. If your definition of success is wrong, then at the end of the whole chase, you'll say, oh my God, what did I get? It's like once in India, I was sitting in the veranda of a house, and an ant was carrying a leaf and going across. Ants are unique creatures. They can carry 20 to even 50 times their body weight. So the ant was struggling with the leaf and making slow progress. After half an hour, it had covered half the veranda. Now there was 2 tiles were imperfectly joined, so there was a crevice. And I said, this crevice, what will the ant do now? to cross over. But the ant was so intelligent, it placed the leaf on top of the crevice, crossed over, then again took the leaf and continued. But it missed out on the critical point at the end. There was a little hole and it was supposed to go down the hole, and it then realized that the leaf cannot go down. So it left the leaf after 1 hour's effort and went by itself. So likewise, you make your definition of progress all wrong, and then finally, only in our deathbed we realize that I was running after broken pieces of glass. Ultimately, what did it all amount to? What is a real success? A little boy would go to spend the summers with his grandmother in Waco. And there he would play Monopoly with her and she would defeat him. But when he came back to Allen, a boy moved into his neighborhood who was expert in Monopoly. And that boy was playing with him. He also became expert and he was waiting for the summer. And then when he went, he said to his grandmother, "Can we play Monopoly?" Monopoly is the game as your coin moves around, you get chances to purchase various things with fake money. So grandmother played with him and he defeated her. And she said, "My child, you have become expert in Monopoly now. Let me tell you the final lesson. Ultimately, it all goes into the box. No matter what you win, it's all fake money, it goes into the box, right?" So likewise, first of all, believe you have infinite potential for inner growth, for greatness, for elevation. To be your best, to do your best. But define it properly.